April 15, 1865, began like any other day in my life as a young actress at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. The city was alive with the news of the Confederate surrender, and there was a palpable sense of joy and relief that the Civil War was drawing to a close. At 20 years old, I was full of optimism, eager to take the stage and lose myself in the magic of performance. The theater had always been my sanctuary, a place where reality blurred into the enchanting world of drama and storytelling. That evening, we were to perform Our American Cousin, a comedic play that never failed to elicit laughter from the audience. Little did I know, this performance would become etched in history for reasons far beyond our artistic endeavors. As the afternoon gave way to evening, whispers began circulating backstage that President Abraham Lincoln and his wife, Mary Todd Lincoln, would be attending the performance. Excitement rippled through the cast and crew. Performing before the president was not just an honor, it was a momentous occasion that could elevate our careers. I stood backstage, adjusting my costume and stealing glances at my fellow actors. There was a shared energy among us, a mix of nerves and exhilaration. The orchestra began to play, and the murmur of the audience grew louder. Peeking through the curtains, I saw the theater filled to capacity. The warm glow of the gaslights illuminated eager faces awaiting the start of the show. When the presidential party entered the theater, the audience erupted into applause. President Lincoln acknowledged the crowd with a modest smile and a gentle wave before taking his seat in the presidential box. The sight of him filled me with a profound sense of pride. Here was a man who had guided our nation through its darkest hours, choosing to spend his evening enjoying the arts. It felt like a hopeful sign for the future. The play unfolded seamlessly. Laughter echoed through the theater as the actors delivered their lines with impeccable timing. Between my scenes, I stood in the wings, absorbing the atmosphere. It was one of those nights where everything seemed to align perfectly. Unbeknownst to us on stage, a sinister plan was in motion. John Wilkes Booth, a well-known actor and familiar face at Ford's Theater, had entered the building with malicious intent. While we performed, he made his way through the back corridors, unseen by the audience and the performers alike, heading toward the presidential box. As the third act progressed, I was preparing for my next entrance. Suddenly, a sharp, piercing sound echoed through the theater, a gunshot. For a split second, silence hung heavy in the air. Confusion swept over the audience and actors alike. Some thought it was a part of the play, an unexpected sound effect perhaps. But the horrified scream that followed from the presidential box shattered any such illusions. I looked up just in time to see a figure leaping from the box to the stage, a man clad in black, brandishing a dagger. He landed awkwardly, stumbling slightly before regaining his footing. It was then that I recognized him, John Wilkes Booth. He shouted something, "Sic semper tyrannis." Though amidst the chaos, the exact words were lost to me. Booth dashed across the stage, disappearing into the wings and out of sight. The entire theater erupted into pandemonium. Screams filled the air as patrons rose from their seats, some attempting to flee, others standing frozen in shock. From my vantage point, I could see Mary Todd Lincoln leaning over her husband, her face a mask of despair. Panic seized the theater. Audience members surged toward the exits, creating a tumultuous wave of bodies. Others rushed toward the presidential box, desperate to offer assistance. The orchestra pit was abandoned as musicians joined the crowd on stage, their instruments forgotten. Backstage, my fellow actors and I were engulfed in a whirlwind of fear and uncertainty. We clung to one another, our costumes a stark contrast to the grim reality unfolding around us. The sight of the president slumped in his chair, attended by frantic doctors and officials, is an image that haunts me to this day. Authorities quickly arrived, sealing off the theater and instructing everyone to remain inside. Whispers of conspiracy and further threats spread like wildfire. We were herded into a corner, where we waited in a state of disbelief. Time seemed to stretch endlessly as we grappled with the magnitude of what had occurred. As dawn broke, the somber news reached us: President Abraham Lincoln had succumbed to his injuries. A heavy pall settled over the city, and indeed, the entire nation. The streets, once filled with celebrations of the war's end, were now lined with mourners draped in black. In the days that followed, I found myself haunted by the events of that night. Sleep was elusive, and when it came, it brought nightmares. The theater, once a place of joy and passion, had become a stark reminder of tragedy. I questioned whether I could ever return to the stage. Yet, amidst the sorrow, a quiet resolve began to take root within me. I realized that as artists, we have a profound responsibility to reflect and heal the human spirit. The theater could serve not only as a mirror to society but also as a beacon of hope in times of darkness. With time and support, I found the courage to step back onto the stage. Each performance became an homage to resilience and a tribute to the ideals that President Lincoln embodied. Through storytelling, we sought to unite and comfort those around us, fostering a sense of community in the wake of division. Decades have passed since that fateful night at Ford's Theater, but the memories remain as vivid as ever. I often revisit the emotions of that evening, the exhilaration of performing, the sudden plunge into terror, and the overwhelming grief that followed. Sharing my story has not been easy, yet I believe it is necessary. It stands as a testament to a pivotal moment in our nation's history and serves as a reminder of the fragility of peace and the enduring impact of violence. As I reflect on my life, I am filled with a sense of gratitude for the opportunity to have witnessed both the heights of human achievement and the depths of tragedy. President Lincoln's vision for unity and equality continues to inspire me and countless others. Through the years, I have learned that even in the face of unimaginable sorrow, the human spirit possesses an incredible capacity for healing and renewal. The arts remain a powerful force for bringing people together, fostering understanding, and kindling hope. I am thankful for the stages I've graced and the stories I've had the privilege to tell. Each one is a celebration of life and a tribute to the resilience that defines us all.